What's up, YouTube? On this episode of Cottywampa Overland, our overlanding rig becomes a rescue rig. The middle of February, we had planned on going to the Jefferson National Forest overlanding, but Mother Nature and our community in need changed our plans. This turned into an ice and snowstorm that this area will not soon forget. The rain changed to ice on the evening of the 10th, and by the morning of the 11th, trees started to fall and roads became impassable.
As far as you can see on 706, it's blocked.
This was only the beginning of a long 2 weeks. The heavy ice accumulation was causing trees to fall everywhere. After the initial ice precipitation, we got a little bit of a break, but it still remained frigidly cold. This gave us just enough time to celebrate my 50th birthday with the few people that could make it to our house. Deb had planned me an incredible surprise birthday party for my 50th birthday, but no one can make it. By this time, it was time to start ramping up for the next big storm. We decided it was time to change our overlanding rig into a rescue rig. The next storm would start like a vengeance. I've never seen this much ice. There were trees falling all around it while we were trying to get people out of harm's way and into safety. The overnight storm crippled our county as well as many other counties around us. It left our county with a 100% power outage and many roads blocked. As daylight broke and calls were still coming into the 911 center for assistance, first responders, road crews, and citizens alike were still just trying to cut out of the main roads so we would have access to things like hospitals. For the better part of the morning, there wasn't any way to get out of our county. Beyond the ice, the snow was continuing to fall and continuing to mount up. It looked like it was going to be more than what they had predicted. Not only was the power out, but by this time, most all of the phones were out as well. We made it to Alan and Nancy, who were trying to cut their own way out. They were trying to get to the fire department so that they could set up a warming station for people who didn't have any source of heat. By this point in the day, we were about to get the main roads cleared to where we could get some services in and out. Utility crews were already starting to show up. Emergency management started having things in place to where they could get people who were oxygen dependent and needing it, things like generators and heat.
Go ahead. You guys need help? No, we're on the way to the nursing home to pick up some tomatoes.
EM2100, is that delivery going to be down on the other side of Iceville?
10-4.
You can disregard that, I just picked it up and I've got it headed that way.
Ooh, can we get under that?
Yep.
Because you've been under it once.
Several times. Fire departments, EMS, rescue teams, law enforcement, 911, and emergency management all work together as a single team to get the folks of this area what they needed.
So this.
We almost made it to our delivery location, but was stopped by the utility workers. We were able to hand the medication off to another firefighter who was able to get the medicine to the person on the other side. Picked insulin up at the nursing home and carried it over there, but you got 3 or 4 over there that are oxygen dependent and are running out of fuel for their generators. Not only did we work together inside the county, but we also worked with neighboring county emergency management agencies to make sure that people got what they needed on the other side of our county lines that we couldn't get to. As soon as the road crews thought they were getting ahead of the storm, another big squall would come through and cover everything that they had done right back up. With the inch of ice and now the accumulation of snow, more and more trees were falling, and these old pines just kept bowing to the ground.
How much ice is on those power lines?
If you've seen our Elliott County video, then you know a lot of the roads around here are not 2 lanes wide, and a lot of them are not even blacktop. As daylight went away, the calls for assistance continued, and the response from the rescuers continued as well.
125 dispatch. Show me out on Olive Branch.
As night fell, it presented us with a whole new set of challenges. It was getting very difficult to be able to see the lines that were down and the trees across the road. You had to be really careful. But this time the roads were as slick as glass. Even 4-wheel drive ambulances were struggling to make it to people. By the morning of the 17th, the roads were still treacherous, but the utility companies and the electric companies were still trying to get to the lines and work on them to get power restored. As we continued to help people throughout the county, we had to be very mindful to not get ourselves in a mess.
28 to DL2.
Go ahead.
Look out. Won't cut some of that stuff out your way, but you beat me.
Yeah. Not sure if you could tell or not, but that was one of the firefighters sliding down the hill straight at us. Not sure if you can tell here or not, but this road is nothing but a glaze of ice. You can't even hardly stand up on it. I've got to throw a tire plug in right here. I know that we'd done the review on the Cooper STT Pros and said that we had never had them on ice. Well, now I have, and I am an absolute firm believer in them. Some of the places we had to go, I sure was glad to have a good set of tires. The more days we went through during this emergency, the more remote we had to go to get to people to try to help them. A lot of places you would cut your way in, made it to your destination, and then you would have to cut your way out because the trees falling in behind you.
Else that's a car stuck sideways in the road.
When you would hit the low-lying limbs, it sounded like glass breaking.
Oh, you're gonna
bust your light? I think he just busted your light out.
But this time we were all wishing this was over, but Mother Nature decided to dump several more inches of snow on us.
Third storm to come through. Now we're getting snow. 4 to 6 inches expected tonight.
The new thick blanket of snow made the roads a little bit easier to travel on, but it also caused a lot of trees to fall and the utility companies to start all over in some places.
Day 5.
By day 5, we were starting to see some blacktop again, but the rest of the world looked like a winter wonderland. We were finally on our way home for some much needed downtime and just a little bit of rest before we would head back out. Okay, so we're out of electric. We just got the new oven, the new Coleman oven, and we're going to give it a shot here at home before we take it overlanding. One of the things that when we have a disaster like this, if you're prepared to be overlander, then you're going to be prepared for a disaster like this for being out of power for multiple days. Check those out. By day 6, the secondary roads were starting to show a little bit of blacktop. The primary roads were pretty much clear, but a lot of people were still without power. Even though the sun was shining, it would still be several days before all of the roadways were cleared within the county and power was restored to everyone. As of this video, we're just a little bit over 2 weeks from the beginning of this storm. The cleanup is an ongoing process, but the scars will be visible for years. Thank you for watching and allowing us to share our non-overlanding story with you. As always, leave your comments in the box below. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks again for watching Cotty Wappa Overland. Until next time, see ya.